Do you feel famous?
Not yet.
We have a podcast.
Barely.
This is like your on-camera unveiling.
Unfortunately, I've been behind the mic. Actually, very fortunately.
We've been keeping you behind the scenes for a long time here.
It's because of the haircut, isn't it?
And now we get to introduce you in this podcast.
And exactly that's what we're doing. In 3, 2.
Let's see who cares. Welcome into the show.
Who cares?
I'm Jeff Kolb.
Ethan Herrera.
We're about to find out who cares. This is our brand new baby, our podcast on KDFI. All the other places we'll tell you about at the end of the show. We've been gearing up for this.
A little bitty 5 pound, 9 ounce. Maybe it's 9 ounce, 5 pounds. One or the other. Little baby show.
That sounds painful. We wouldn't know.
I have no idea.
And I'm not really sure who knows about us. I have some more fame than you, but it's minimal.
Barely. But yeah, no, definitely you more than me. So why don't you tell us, everybody, exactly how you and I met and what we're about?
As people will find out, this guy, he works really hard to keep me humble, and it's not an easy job. So
it's tough.
Sports is what has brought us together. For those who don't know, I am an anchor reporter here at Fox 4, talking all things Dallas sports, Cowboys drama, Mavericks drama. Now we'll get to that in a minute. And you, from all places, have come from sales.
Sales upstairs, under the Fox 4 O&O group here at Dallas. No, yeah, barely. I met him. We met at a Christmas party.
It was almost like we were set up on a blind date.
That's what it felt like.
The man at the very top here.
Oh, shout out Jeff Gurley.
Jeff Gurley, our general manager. He came to me and he said, listen, there's this guy in sales, and he loves sports, and he does this radio stuff on the side and play-by-play. And so I said, well, great. I'll take another hand. And I haven't been able to get rid of this guy since.
See, this was your fault because you tried to recruit me blindly just to, get some extra help. You didn't like me. You didn't care about me.
I was opportunistic, man.
You know what? I respect it.
I've taken you under my wing. I feel like I've taught you everything I know, like Karate Kid style.
Oh, big time, except it was very, very much not like Mr. Miyagi. As far away as possible as Mr. Miyagi, but
no chopsticks involved.
No, there was a lot of flies.
We do like some Thai food between shows.
Oh, big time. Fair. Big time. Saturday night Thai food, only place to be.
And so, listen, we're pretty much just talking about us, like this is all about us, and that honestly is not what I want this show to be about.
Because everything else is about you, and so I think you're going to have to tone it down on this one just a little bit. This is about the people. This isn't about you this time.
I mean, I think that our name, Who Cares, really kind of gets to the point. We're talking about us. I'm not sure anybody cares, and I think as sports-obsessed guys as we are, when you look out at the landscape of sports media now, and I'm not trying to get too much in the weeds of sports media and journalism and this and that, but what is it so much about when you turn on like an ESPN? It's hot takes.
Big time. Back and forth arguing over, like you said, hot takes. Who's the GOAT? Which team is better? Who would win in this part? I mean, it's exhausting at some point.
I don't care that much about my opinion about MJ versus LeBron and things like that. And so as we have been talking for the last few months about what we want Who Cares to be about, and I'm hopeful that people watching this are curious about the name, and we'll get to that in just a moment. My hope for this show is to be less about being right with our opinions and more about caring for answers and learning. And that's really where I can't wait to get a third mic in here, get our guests on and learn things, whether it's a pro athlete or an agent or a family member, a parent of an athlete, learning more about what goes into this, what goes into that, who cares about whatever it is we're talking about in a given week.
It's a deeper dive into sports in general instead of just surface level. You see the good players, you see the bad players, you see the news come out about everything and from general manager to owner, but we're going to get deeper in why people actually care, why athletes care, why fans care, why you at home should care, and maybe you don't. So that's fine too. Who cares? We care. This is what we care about this.
And we care to have fun along the way. And not to give you too much credit, because, I like to keep you humble too every chance I get.
I don't think we've maybe complimented each other 3 times ever in our life.
But I will give Ethan credit. I will give you credit because in less than a year's span of time, we've plucked this guy from upstairs in sales, and maybe that tells you a little bit about the pecking order here at Fox Sports. Sales is on the top floor. They're on top. But this guy I haven't. This guy had no TV experience, and you have learned, I will take a little credit from me.
I give you zero
fully
credit.
How to produce a sportscast, put together a sports show. And I think the proud parent in me is most proud that you have learned judgment when it comes to sports news. And I think one of the things I've tried to emphasize to you most is, why do we care? Okay, so-and-so batted 389 in the month of June. Who cares about that number? Tell me why I care, And so I think that there is just so much more to every sports story, and that's what we hope to get into. And the name was a big part of kind of coming to this concept. And I don't want to take too much credit for the name. You gave me the green light.
You came up with it almost right off the bat, and I said, you know what, that's good. That's good. So, yeah, I know you had to clear it through me, but I think you came up with a good one. We came up I came up with the question mark and exclamation point, so don't think it came out of just from you.
And we will, as sports guys, focus so much on sports. I really hope that we find as many moments as we can to go beyond sports, and I think that will be really fun, especially when we get some great guests in here who people really know for being athletes or coaches or their role in the sports world. But I want to know about things that people don't know about just life in their respective path. But to speak on this name, for Dallas sports fans, particularly hockey fans, maybe you connected the dots, but this came from something that is one of my favorite traditions for Dallas Stars hockey fans.
Oh, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite things, too. I've been to not a ton of Stars games, but a handful, probably about 10 in my life, and it gets me every single time.
And so what happens at any hockey game anywhere where there's a PA announcer is after a goal is scored, they always take some time to review. Sometimes the puck's tipped or it's not clear right off the bat who scored the goal. So after a minute or two, when they confirm it, the PA announcer will announce it. And so if you're at a Dallas Stars hockey game, when the other team scores, the PA guy will come on and say, goal scored by Edmonton number 86, John Smith, at the 1912 mark in the second period. Whatever it is. Right when he wraps up, what do the people say? Who cares? Who cares?
It's amazing.
It's just like
it
the
cracks
best.
me up every single time.
It's the best sort of like tongue-in-cheek deal. And so I think we want to have a lot of that energy. I think that people will enjoy us kind of, raising our eyebrow at things.
Yeah, poking fun at a lot of things as well.
Being sarcastic. But
I can't turn that off. It's terminal. It's been tough.
But we will find our serious moments too. And I think we'll do that here in our next block as well when we get into some Luka Doncic talk, because that has not been sarcastic. That has been saucy. And so we think that our Who Cares energy can take on a life of its own in so many different ways. And I'll be honest, to the people, we've been practicing this. We've been getting pumped up, coming up with ideas for how this might play out. We don't fully know. This will be an adventure. And for anyone who cares to come along for the ride, I am so excited to get started on this. So when the Luka Doncic trade broke,
oh, it was amazing.
Where were we?
We were sitting right here.
We were right here, and it was like one of the most frustrating feelings because
it was late.
We didn't have a podcast yet.
No.
And we're in like the perfect spot for the emergency pod, maybe before like anyone else in the world. And you broke the news to me. Do you remember how it went?
You were already a little frustrated. Not frustrated, but you were tired. It was a long night.
Whatever.
It was 11, 15 almost p.m. on a Saturday night after a long day. We're both tired. I checked my phone and I was like, no way. And you go.
Well, you said to me.
I said, Shams just said Luka got traded.
And what people don't know is you're telling me BS all the time. You were
Nonstop.
always saying crap to me that I'm like, that's not true. And so
It used to work. It used to get you. Now you've come clean. Now
I
you've come
did
to
not
your
buy it
senses.
for a second. I'm like, here we go again. And I think I said, get the F out. Stop. It's too late for this.
And I said, okay, fine. I'm serious. And you're like, no way. I'm like, all right, cool.
And I think the next 20 minutes were like silence in our phones.
Wait, we didn't talk much at all.
And almost a week later, as we tape this here now, like, it's still not believable.
It's still, as everyone else in the world has said so, one of the most shocking trades, movements, transactions in sports history in America. It's top 5 easily. People are saying number 1. I know that's not breaking news, but it's still so shocking that we're talking about it like this right now. And a team that was on the verge of winning a championship last year, trading away top 3 player in the league it's in. Babe Ruth is what I came to. Gretzky's up there like everybody else says that. It's just insane that we're seeing it happen in real time. And it still to this day, I know a week later, I still don't believe it until I see both of them out on the court.
For transparency's sake, I think we need to put out there that neither of us are diehard, lifelong Dallas Mavericks fans.
No.
But we have our teams. And I will say this. We talk about our show, and I think this is like at the heart of this Luka story. You have seen how much Mavericks fans, MFFLs as they're called, and it's funny, we talked about general manager Jeff Gurley, and he had kind of asked me a few days ago, he's like, is that really a common acronym? Because obviously it's like, when I first saw it, I was like, that's a little bit of a dicey, racy acronym right there. Mavs fans for life. And so I think this story cuts right to the heart of that phrase, because I was out there the next day on Sunday at the plaza with the casket and the vigil. Like, it was like a real funeral. And I think these people who have never had any thought in their mind that they would not be a Mavericks fan, all of a sudden, overnight, are put into this spot of, maybe I'm done with this team.
There's very few moves, and we can sit here and dissect all of them like I just mentioned before. There's very few moves that any sports team has done that has turned the fan base 180. 90% of the fan base, it seems like, 180 against them. There's very few times in sports history. This one is huge, and I'm not trying to like target the Dumonts or anything, but a ownership group that comes in new, that has no experience or at least prior accolades to being a sports, mindset, family or business.
Yeah, they're casino people.
Right.
They didn't care about sports.
And they don't understand them specifically, yeah, but in general, managers, owners, and the trust like that, like we call Jerry Jones, they have no idea about what sports means to cities like Dallas. I know we're a big market city, but every team outside of, everybody who's a fan outside of LA and New York, big cities like that, we're a big city, smaller, more concise. They don't understand what it means to be a sports fan of those teams.
And I'm not trying to just harp on our show name, but I think my question is, like, do they care? And I'm serious on that. Jerry Jones takes a whole lot of crap in this city and beyond for his ineptitude as the owner, general manager, and everything else he titles himself with the Cowboys. However, he has never not cared about the fans in this way, where it's just like, let's auction off our best player for not nearly what the return should be. And I think that they did not expect this reaction, whether it's the ownership, whether it is GM Nico Harrison. And I wonder how much Nico cares about his reputation when he pulls off this trade the way he did. And I think the power of the people is a lot more real than the greedy billionaires, the Dumont Adelson family, and GM Nico Harrison, who thinks that he's got his hand in all these different places where he has power, whether it's here, whether it's past his experience as a general manager with the Mavericks. I think they underestimated the people, how much they care, and the power they have, because this trade is not going away fast. The reaction and the anger from these fans.
Like you said, we were sitting here in disbelief. We're still here in disbelief as sports fans that someone would make this move. It's just, to me, kind of shows how out of touch management and the front office is with the fans, and just how much that Luka and any superstar of their team, how much they actually care about him.
Yeah, the power of heartbreak. It's on full display right now.
One of my favorite people in the entire world I never even met, and it is beardless jeff-kolb. Beardless jeff-kolb has to be my favorite person ever. Because look at that face. Why would you even cover this up?
He's pudgy. He looks about 23, baby-faced, unexperienced. No.
This is my favorite.
No.
See,
this needs to stop.
See, if we can, Glenn, our producer, can you look at Jeff right now? Look at the beard. Look how beautiful it is. See, it just screams to me that you care too much about it, you know?
At least one of us can have some facial hair.
You know, I'm still growing, all right? I haven't finished the adolescent stage yet. This is the most facial I've ever grown in my life.
Yeah, you have to be this old to be on podcast television.
I've tried so hard, but it's okay.
Right, you're going to come at me, come at me.
This is jeff-kolb. He's got some words for older jeff-kolb.
Okay, I'm listening.
Jeff-kolb. You have to talk back to him.
How dare you?
Is this what we wanted to do? Did we want to be a reporter when we were this young? I don't think so. I think we wanted to be a chef.
Well,
or
I was a
trainer.
reporter. Clearly, I was a reporter. Look at me.
All right, right here, this jeff-kolb. I want the.
You're trying to get to my inner child.
Yeah,
here?
this is 10-year-old
the inner
jeff-kolb.
child jeff-kolb really wanted to be the starting shortstop and leadoff hitter for the Boston Red Sox, and he was a dreamer, and so that dream went way too long. You should have changed your mind sooner, younger Jeff. Maybe things would have turned out differently, but it's not so bad.
So,
I don't mind being here in this seat with you.
Me and Jeff have been talking, but we were thinking, I mean, Red Sox. I know people who know you're from Boston area, you know, up there, New England area. Rhode Island, New England area, huge Boston sports fan. But shortstop for the Boston Red Sox, I mean, I guess that's everybody's dream, but who grows up in New England area.
I grew up loving Nomar Garciaparra. So that was like the dream, and that's how I fell in love with sports. And while I had no business ever being in pro baseball or being paid to play any sport for that matter.
I don't know. Pitcher of the year, something we'll talk about at some point.
Division 3, yeah. Let's
Pitcher of the year in Division 3
show. My passion for sports, which I know you can relate to, that still serves me now. And that's definitely why I do what I do and love the stories. And so once I realized I was ready to be a totally washed up athlete, like what's the next best thing? Well, you hang out around the best athletes in the world with a microphone on the other side asking questions about what it's like. And so it's not so bad.
Well,
and you and I share baseball.
Yeah, no, we're both.
I don't
at
buy
some
that
point,
you really threw in the 90s.
Well,
but
that's okay. That's another segment for another day.
We'll embellish on a different episode.
That is actually one of my favorite things we've talked about. I can't wait to get to that one because I've got a bunch that I personally do, and I know that you've done.
Just riddle me this.
Go ahead.
And we probably need more female perspective on this. But why do you really like beardless Jeff? Because I can't stand it. I don't know that I'll ever go back.
I think it's your attitude.
I think you're just jealous of the beard, honestly.
That may be part of it, but
this is where you need to humble me.
You
got the cardboard. You got all the weapons you need.
You look so much better without the beard, and I think it's more It's more of a personality thing. I think you really shine and pop with no beard, and your self-confidence is down. You're way too confident with the beard, and I don't think everyone around you.
I feel like that is prohibition, Jeff. I think that's the wrong era. I just do.
This is not you, is what you're saying.
Can we put the cardboard away now?
Here, I think you might be right.
almost at the end of the line here, episode 1. Kind of surreal.
I know. I thought I was going to come in here and not care about it, but now I feel like I kind of do care about this personally. I don't know about the
I'm
listener.
glad. I mean, you're a host. You should probably care. We plan on coming up with all different kinds of catchy little segments as we go along with this podcast. One that we will close on tonight. The last thing I care about. The last segment. So what's the last thing you care about today?
Last thing I care about, which kind of sounds like, oh, I don't care about it. Like, that's the last thing I care about. Today, this is the last thing I'm going to care about. I care about sports fans. I know we're not always going to talk about sports on this last one, but I care about sports fans. And I care that every single one of them contributes to my love for sports and the players' love for sports. And I think they should come first before anything that happens nowadays.
Are you trying to, make this mushy here down the stretch? My gosh. Well, as you've established, I care pretty much about me, myself, and I. And so the last thing I care about is I got to pitch against a top Major League Baseball prospect in Jet Williams. We'll show you the video here a little bit. And I got him to foul one off. I was impressed. He doesn't think I could get anybody out, but it felt good. I still got it.
Number 14 prospect.
I don't think you ever threw 95. As we wrap here, this is one of 5 unique podcasts that we are launching here at Fox 4 as part of the Talk of Texas series. So every day of the week, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m., KDFI, Channel 27, you can watch all of these new podcasts, including Who Cares, every Tuesday at 7.
Who cares?
You can watch it on fox4news.com, Fox Local, everywhere you get your podcasts. How'd it feel?
Fantastic.
Who cares?
Sayonara, Sammy.
We're out.